Hello, and welcome to today's stream, where today I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to be doing it, but I'm trying to kind of do something similar to how I used to do stuff with thoughtraid, where we would talk about a topic and cover some different things. I want to do something like that while combining it with some gaming at the same time. Kind of sticking with the culture that we've been developing with the raid part of thoughtraid. So I'll be playing Minecraft and talking about the topic of anxiety and just kind of sharing my story through it, how I'm doing right now, what I'm learning in this current, like, it's been a whole year of learning a whole new bunch of stuff about myself. Yes, no, I'm not ready to feel anxious. I'm ready to stop feeling anxious. I'm tired of feeling anxious. And I want to talk about that and share that whole thing that I'm learning right now with you guys. So, while all playing Minecraft. So, let's just jump right into that. Welcome back to thoughtraid, a community about friends, gaming, and better ways of thinking. And is my microphone working? It is. Okay, good. Today, I'm going to be streaming some Minecraft. And the topic that I'm talking about today is anxiety. And it's not so much that I'm here to talk about the topic of anxiety, as much as it is to share where I'm at, what I've learned, and if you... Any of you who are watching me or going to be watching are dealing with anxiety, just to kind of talk you through it. Because honestly, anxiety is the worst. I hate anxiety. I hate it so much. And last year was all about me facing it in new ways I've never had to face it before. And I'm not here to say, here are the exact answers on how to deal with anxiety and never deal with anxiety before. I don't even know if it's possible to not completely deal with anxiety in some shape, way, or form. But I've learned some new ways of dealing with it since last year, and I figured I'll share that with you. And if you are dealing with any sort of anxiety, I want you to know that I'm here for you. Also, while I'm playing Minecraft. And I'm doing it in creative mode, so it'll be a little bit easier for me to be able to back and forth focus on what's going on, what's being said. So that'll be helpful. But yeah, anxiety in Minecraft. And I gotta, first of all, I gotta get Minecraft to show up. There it is. Okay. But what is this? Before I jump into all that, Zap, what is this depressed Brandon thing that you're talking about? Like, it's the fact that I have, like, my voice doesn't sound the same as it did in the previous microphone that I used, or, like, what is the specific situation with that? I'm not quite sure. I think it has something to do with my microphone. Time, set, day. I don't want nighttime yet. The mic just makes your voice sound much less upbeat. Well, I don't know what to say to that. Like, I definitely, don't feel any less upbeat than I normally am. Although today I'm a little bit more calm than I typically am, and this stream is definitely going to be more calm than it normally is too. See, I have been... Before you sounded so vibrant and joyous, and now it just sounds normal. Oh, well. I really don't know what the difference is between the last and the first. I'll have to look at streams before I got this new microphone and after, and then I'll be able to tell exactly what you're talking about. But all I know is that this is supposed to be more warm tones, picking up the deeper aspect of my voice and making sure that it's not as grating to the ears. Anyways, part of my focus of why I want to do stuff on Minecraft today is because we've got a new server that I'm going to eventually release to the general public. And it has no spawn area, and I kind of want to work on that. I feel like that's a chill thing to do while also simultaneously talking about anxiety. So that's what I'm gonna do while also listening to what you guys are saying in the process. I think the first thing always is to kind of start with finding a good flat surface to kind of build. Or at least that's what I kind of want to do. So, I don't know what to tell you, Zap. We're trying out new microphones, something that's more clear, more crisp than my previous mic, so that way people can come in and they don't feel like their ears are being accosted by a sharp, shrill voice. Gotta walk the dog. Okay, well, have fun walking the dog. You can take me with you if you want, if you have like a smartphone or something. Anyways, so I kind of wanted to talk about anxiety today while I've been searching around this map for a good place to start building. Because that's something that I really heavily dealt with just last year, even within the past 3, 4, 5 months of last year. And it's interesting that I dealt with it so much last year, considering that some of the stressors that I went through in 2021 and 2020, I feel like should have been much more stressful than what I'm currently facing. And so, I mean, between that and then just over the consistency of my life of really, dealing with a lot of forward thinking to the point of where, like, it's hard to kind of be in the moment and calm down. I don't know, I don't want other people to have to go through the same kind of anxieties that I do, because it sucks. There's a lot of benefits. Okay. Oh, you don't have data. Got it. There's a lot of benefits to forward thinking. I'd say that I can't say that this is the case for everyone everywhere, but I'm willing to guess that perhaps people who deal with anxiety more than the average person are probably going to be people that think ahead more than the average person would, I think. At least that's my case. I get myself into trouble a lot because when it comes to being anxious, because I'm always thinking about the next step. And not only so, but like I'm very imaginative. So oftentimes when I'm thinking about the future, there's some possibility of something bad happening, and then I get really hyper fixated on that. And it's hard to kind of break out of the focus of whatever it is that I'm afraid of or afraid might happen. And I'm surprised, again, the challenges that I kind of faced last year versus the challenges of this year. Because last year, for those who don't know, and the year before, in fact, let me just back up a step. The reason why thoughtraid exists, and actually had the chance of becoming what it is now at all, is because I ended up losing my job at the onset of the pandemic. I used to work at this place called The Walking Company. It was the first time I've ever worked with clothes, and it's also... That's a beautiful cave. It's also the first time that I ever worked with shoes in general as well. And it was the highest paying job that I had ever done, too. Like, I really feel like, for what it was worth, I feel like the Walking Company was a very generous company. And I think that, for the most part, they treated me and my store pretty well. And I had some really great managers, district managers, all that kind of stuff over me. And the problem is that when the pandemic hit, they were kind of like an above low volume tier business. And they had made some probably not the wisest decisions in how to spend their money, I guess. Because when the pandemic hit, they could not survive. I think they're still out there. It's posted. What is posted? Oh, here's a nice flat surface. Oh, it's something is posted. Okay. Anyways, so when the pandemic hit, the Walking Company could not sustain keeping its doors open to, actually, I don't think they were able to keep any of their brick and mortar stores open. And so we pretty much shut down, I want to say like the store itself didn't go to business immediately. It first closed its doors due to having like one person walk in a day. Let alone an hour or whatever. Like it was really bad. We lost so much business. I remember at the onset of the pandemic, like able to leave the store with a coworker behind it and leave it just, doors open, anyone can come in. And I am checking the chat. I don't know exactly what you're referring to. Or unless you're talking about check the Discord chat? ? Oh, you're Ruby, you're 3 coming on 4-year-old Bernese mountain dog. She loves perching on the rocks in the backyard like her own little mountain. Well, that's cute. She's a cute dog. Anyways, where was I? So yes. So I remember like going to work, okay? And with a coworker there, I was able to walk around, and I worked in the mall. So context, the walking company store that we had was in the local mall, and I was able to essentially walk the entirety of the mall. And we're talking, it's a pretty big mall, 2 different sections split up by a JCPenney's, 2 floors. I'd say if you were to go around the mall from start to finish 4 times or less, you've walked a mile, I'd say, which is kind of hard to exactly quantify, but that's roughly what it was like. You didn't have to go far. You didn't have to like walk many loops before you'd have walked a mile in my mall. And I was able to do that multiple times for 30 minutes to an hour at a time, and no one would enter the store. I mean, it got so bad that I brought my Nintendo Switch to play Animal Crossing, because that was a thing that started at the onset of the pandemic. And I would play Animal Crossing just to pass the time, because there was nothing else for me to do. So that happened, and like it was a very interesting experience, because first they cut the hours available to the store, and I was like, oh god, what am I going to do? But it turns out they were able to give still my usual 40 full-time hours to me. And then they cut a little bit more, but, God didn't tell me to do anything different, so I stayed at the walking company, and they cut a little bit more until finally they were like, okay, we're not getting enough people in, we're going to shut it down for a couple of weeks. If this pandemic starts to lift up, then we'll reopen the doors, and then everything will resume for normal. But the pandemic did not let up within a couple of weeks. Not good enough for the, stores to resume normal operations. And so effectively, from April until I want to say June, they were officially like, sorry, you don't have a job or a store anymore. We have to let you go. So I was jobless as of like June 2020. But before I got to that point, I was also planning on going to Japan. I had raised all the money necessary to go to Japan. I was going to go with a couple of friends. I was able to get my passport together. We're talking all the money necessary to raise. I was able to raise within, and like I did not have the money to be able to travel to Japan. I had to raise money to go to Japan. I was able to raise all the money necessary to go to Japan in the span of a month, maybe month and a half, to be completely accurate. Get my license, my passport, make all the plans to head there. We were going to go in June of 2020, and boom, the pandemic hit. Like, I got everything together February, March hit, boom, everything shuts down. So now I am without a job, and I was going to go to Japan to begin to figure out how can I eventually return to Japan and do ministry out there. Because one of the biggest things that is on my heart is to help people. I like helping people through their thought processes, which is why I started ThoughtRaid. Because I myself, if I'm gonna get stuck, it's because I'm overthinking, and I just need someone to share with me a simpler way of thinking. And usually that is enough to get me to feel hopeful again and to grow. So I wanted to share that in Japan. I wanted to help people. Like a lot of people that have come my way also are people that have low self-esteem. There have been people that have come along my way that have been depressed and suicidal, and I've been able to kind of help people see their value, see their worth, and to also help people when it comes to like boundary setting, you know, and being more true to yourself, so that way you don't feel like you're losing your soul in the process of, you know, growing and working on yourself. Anyways, that's what I wanted to go to Japan for, and that's the way I like to help people. And pandemic said no. Japan shut down. Many countries shut down. My plans to travel shut down. And my job shut down. And I was jobless from April 2020, roughly, until June 2021. And, you know, and the onset of that, I was able to get unemployment. So I wasn't like I was just completely screwed. I was able to kind of get some help financially during that time. But before that ran up, God, I really felt convicted that God was like, Brandon, I don't want you getting any more unemployment, and I don't want you looking for another job. I just want you working on thoughtraid. So in 2020... that's what I did. I worked on thoughtraid. I had Tim with me. Noah had just begun to help out during the time. I had Eric at the time helping. It was great. It was grand. It was scary. And I often was like, am I going to end up as a homeless person on the street? But even not knowing where my money was going to come from, and thoughtraid did not get to a place where I was able to financially sustain myself off of it. Even after all that, the anxiety and stress that I faced back then, I don't think can compare to the anxiety and stress that I've faced this year. Or not this year, I guess now. I guess technically, I'm thinking of 2021. In 2022. And that's crazy because 2022 was a year where I saw an increase. Like, I got hired in 2021, and I got a huge pay increase in 2022. I was able to go a lot further than I usually was able to. Started putting money away into savings, started to really get to know myself better. And yet, despite all that, there was just stressors that I had never really experienced before and didn't know how to handle. So, and also interestingly, during last year, I was also, and now I'm talking of 2022. During last year, I was really able to get a lot more help, like I've always wanted to, from like a support structure, from like friends and family. Like, I had many weeks within the year, I had the ability to go and actually talk about how I was feeling with people, with a support group, and that was incredibly helpful. And even with all the help that I had, and the complete 180 from making absolutely no money to being financially sustained, it was a very stressful year. And I've had to learn things over the course of 2022. And that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today, and I wanted to put it out there. If you're dealing with any sort of anxiety, I want you to know that I'm here for you, because as one who has really dealt with it, I know how much it sucks, and I know how hard it is to be at peace despite despite how much you know what's true and what's right. Like, anxiety is, I mean, in many ways it's evil. Not in the sense of like, oh, you're evil for feeling anxiety, but in the sense of how dare it, you know, inflict pain upon people with such degree and measure as it does. Because oftentimes, and you know, if you're seasoned like I am, you know that anxiety is a liar. Like, half the time it's a liar about things where it's very off base about what's actually the problem. But even knowing that, even knowing all the right answers, knowing what to do, what to say, it's still really hard to believe it and to say it and to do it. And that's kind of what I want to explore. And so again, if you are watching this and you yourself are kind of dealing with some sort of anxiety about something, maybe you're anxious about, you know, being succeeding in school. Maybe you're anxious about, yes, maybe you're anxious about needing to confront someone about something because they've hurt you in some shape, way, or form. Anxious about where you're gonna get money from in order to pay your bills, whatever it may be. I want you to know that tonight I'm here for you, and I'm willing to listen to what you're struggling through, and I will provide the best help that I know to give. And, like, full disclosure here, I'm not a licensed counselor. I'm a gamer. And I do have some background in counseling because I went to school for Christian counseling specifically. But I'm not a licensed counselor. I'm just more so a gamer than anything that's here, willing to listen and to help best I know how. So I want you to know that I'm here for you, and I'm here to talk. If you're listening and there's something that's on your mind that you want to get off your chest and talk about, because I find that, for me, a lot of the anxiety I deal with has less power for me once I get it out of here and out my mouth, and I'm able to hear it, or type it, or write it, or whatever. I regret to inform you that only 2 people have watched the stream so far, me and Robot. That's okay, because regardless if it's just you today, Zap, this will still be live on Twitch for a week, and on YouTube until YouTube has issues retaining information, which is entirely possible at some point. You know, I don't think the depths of Google's pockets are infinite, so, although they may be deep. So, regardless if it's now or the future, I'm here for it. And I guess since you were specifically here, Zap, is there anything that you specifically have been, like, working through and have been anxious about? And would like a different perspective on, maybe, that could help encourage you in the struggle and in the stress? Or do you have, like, any sort of questions or anything that I can talk about, like, from my experiences, that I can, like, talk about? Because I am open to suggestion on what to talk about in terms of the topic of anxiety today. And yeah, part of what I want to talk about is all that anyway, so at some point I'm going to figure out a way to transition to that. I'm not exactly worrying about it all the time, but one of the biggest things that makes me anxious is the future. Yes! I understand. I understand the fear of the future. Very much so. And, like, that could be a very broad thing, but, like, there's so much unknown in the future, which is what makes it an anxious thing to think about. Like, you know, thinking about, am I doing enough right now in order to be a success later on in my life? Success in that I don't have to be homeless, that I actually maybe be able to do something that I enjoy, and financially be able to live in any place but the street. You know, kind of things like that. At least some things that I think about when it comes to the future. I believe I brought it up on Discord before, but I adore cooking and baking, and I would very much like to be a cook, but I feel pressure by my parents to do something else. Do they think that, like, what are their thoughts related to, like, cooking and baking? Like, have they talked to you of when you've tried to bring up the topic about cooking and baking? And maybe, I don't know, maybe, like, sown seeds of, what's the word? Discouragement? Doubt? Related to the viability of being a cook or a baker? Because I'm curious, because I know I know my parents don't, and they haven't done this in a long time, but my parents never intended to, like, be a naysayer when it comes to some of the ideas that I wanted to do with my life, but they have, and that's kind of occasionally set me back in pursuing some of the dreams and goals that I've had, made me wonder to myself if what I'm wanting to do is even a valid career, for that matter. But has that happened for you? Has they've, like, mentioned anything in particular related to being a cook or a baker that's kind of made you kind of like, oh, I don't know if I want to do this because I don't know if it's actually going to work or be valid? Out of curiosity. Also, I need to find... I found some flatland, but I wasn't completely inspired by it. There's some really, truly beautiful places here. And then some places I've never seen before, or have I seen this before? Don't know. It's a very beautiful alpine grove. Very nice. Nice cave. Dark cave. Doesn't look like there's any sort of glowing underground place other than just a couple pieces of moss. Keep moving on. I think that's gotta be the perfect spot for it. Let's see. I'm not sure a frozen area would be sufficient. I could build a place in a frozen biome, but I feel like that would become difficult terrain during the winter. So it might not work the best. Let's see. Although this is... Hello. I do think it is beautiful, though. Interesting. I've talked about it with my mom, and it kind of turned into an argument. I would like to go to culinary school in PEI because I've been there multiple times. It's close to home, and you love PEI. I'm going to guess she was just saying that how if I wanted to be successful, I need to work hard and get into a great school. So it wouldn't be said that she was kind of like dissuading you, I guess, of being a chef or baker. Just perhaps your approach to it, I guess, is what she's critiquing. This is kind of cool. I like this. Oh gosh, and it drops out further. Ooh. This is beautiful. Hello. And with the shaders, it's even more beautiful when you see all this stuff. Yes, but also not exactly. Well, I'm listening. I am listening so that I can fully understand the situation. Whatever you feel comfortable sharing, I will listen to. Oh. This is an interesting song. Is that what is that? Is that is lapis lazuli. These beautiful rays of sunshine coming through the water. Part of me wants to kind of build into a cave, but if that would also be a bit crowded and challenging to get out of. It's really on and off with her. Sometimes she talks about how she has friends in restaurants in Ireland and how she could send me there and I could work part-time while learning. What's interesting. Very interesting offer. But I guess other times... ... And sometimes... she's just kind of saying straight up that I need to do something else and that cooking is too tough of an environment. Cooking is too tough of an environment? What does that mean? I'm very curious what she means by that. Like, tough to make it well in the business, or tough as in, like, what the heck is that? That's a wolf? That's an abomination. Moving on. Yes, I've definitely heard of Waffle House. 100%. Is she, like, thinking that, like, every restaurant is a Waffle House? She imagines every restaurant is a Waffle House. No, not every restaurant is a Waffle House. Waffle House is a Waffle House, but not everything is like Waffle House. And... probably not every Waffle House is as bad as is portrayed in social media. Like, I have not been to a Waffle House and then seen a brawl go down, as is the meme on social media right now. Like, I know a lot of people are like, ah, yes, it's a dangerous environment and he will probably be shot or something. I don't think that is the case. I think if that was the case, there would be much less Waffle Houses in existence. That is my personal opinion. Also, there are many other restaurants to work at besides a Waffle House. Although, I think she thinks more of it as a stressful job. And how there's a lot of yelling, and she thinks I can't handle it. Well, I mean, how well do you think you handle stressful situations? Like, if I were to suddenly aggressively start coming at you, and I'm like, zap! You know, how could you do this or that? Like, you know, how would you handle that stressful? Do you think you can handle stressful situations? If you can get the chance to study abroad, take the chance. It's such a cool experience seeing a different culture and is life-changing. I agree with that. Also, hello. Hello, Tyler. It has been a hot second since I have heard from you, and I miss you. Hello. Creeper. Look at you. Aren't you adorable? I think you'd be buried 6 feet under by tomorrow. If I were to come at you aggressively, you would bury me 6 feet under. Is that what you're suggesting? What have you been up to, Tyler? I saw that there was something on Facebook that I saw that you'd posted related to your EP. of the new song that you were posting. I don't remember if it was officially released or something else, aspect of it was released, because remember you talking about it when I was with you last, but I'm not quite sure what stage of development it's presently in, or release process, whatever, however you want to word that. I am underestimated way too often, and people who do underestimate me normally regret it. What does that mean? Like, that could be interpreted a couple different ways, and one of which way that I'm interpreting is that, like, you get revenge on people that underestimate you. So I'm curious what you mean by that. Oh, God. Rip that tree. That tree is... I am not going to save that tree because it'll only feed this thing more. What the heck? Ash! The logs are burning into ash. I didn't know that was a feature. Hello. Okay. Interesting. Goodbye, other tree. Rip. You will be ash, apparently. Ashes to ashes, trees to ash. I'm just saying, if you yell at me, you're getting yelled back at, or yelled at back. I see. Well, at least you got fight in your spirit. That's good. But depending on the circumstance, that may not be a good thing. Like, if you were with someone that you trust and love, and you've developed a strong bond with them, you could get away with yelling back at them as long as you continue to work things together, and you definitely want to be very communicative in the process and not blame them for stuff. But if you're in a, well, you know, in a corporate environment, or let's just say business environment, be that a restaurant or whatever, yelling at people when they get mad at you will probably not help. It might even possibly get you either reprimanded or fired. And by reprimanded, I necessarily mean just demoted. Something to consider. The EP out on all major platforms. I recently posted a music video for Psalm 23. Okay, cool. Nice. Congratulations. That's a big thing. I don't know how to word it otherwise than I also have a fair bit of self-control. Well, that's good. That's good. But, you know, getting on people's level when it comes to they're yelling at you and you're yelling at them, you know, that's something to definitely to be worked on. I think that'd be good to do. Like, if you were to yell at me, which I guess in that case it would require to me if yelled at you at first, I'm at a place where I kind of almost prefer friends and family to yell at me, because for me it's like okay, I know where you're at, and I'm able to like work with you through it, and we can get to a better place. But everyone's a little bit different about that. I'm not exactly patient, but I am Canadian, so I'm not just gonna go crazy with everyone. We were having a I forget who it was. I want to say it was like me and Noah. Might have been one other person was having like a discussion how you don't exactly fit the mold for the stereotype of Canadians. Just gonna put that out there. We were kind of amused by that. Like, you have more excited passion than the average Canadian displays outside of hockey. Are you like Dumbledore in the Harry Potter movie, where you can just take all the yelling and then some? Depends. Okay, let me put it this way. if someone were to yell at me that I don't know, it will definitely, like, I can't just take it and not be bothered. I'm not going to be a person who can just sit there, take it, and not be bothered. I'm not that kind of person. But at the same time, depending on the circumstance, I'm not going to suddenly say, oh, I hate you now. I want nothing to do with you. Depending on how the circumstance goes, I may be distrustful and have to put up some boundaries, yes. But I'm not going to become resentful, or I'm not going to allow myself to be resentful and to pursue revenge on the person unless I can do so in a way that is more in a loving manner, in a sense of not like true revenge, but more like, being a tease. And I know the person can handle it. So it's circumstantial, but I would not put myself on the level of, yes, I could just have anyone yell at me and I'm just going to remain cool, calm, and collected. I am not a cool, calm, and collected person by nature. I am learning how to be more cool and more calm, but I don't think I will ever be like completely cool and calm and collected as a normal MO. But if you know, then you know. Yeah, I don't know that, but unfortunately, I do not know the scene either. So I don't know the comparison. I don't know if Dumbledore is similar to me and is easily excitable, but I feel like he's not. So I'm going to assume that you cannot compare me to Dumbledore and say, ah, yes, I have the same control as Dumbledore does. Don't think so. But out of curiosity, kind of like pulling it back in, Zap. So basically Harry yelling at Dumbledore and he's all calm. Yeah, that's probably not me. It really would take the right circumstances for me to sit there, be yelled at, and be calm. Second to last movie in the series, yeah. I have not seen any of the Harry Potter movies, and nor have I read the books. I've only watched Fantastic Beasts, like the first one, which is like, I'm told it's a prequel to Harry Potter, ? I don't know. But yeah, I did not watch any of the Harry Potter stuff. So I don't know the comparisons. Best I can closely relate myself to, as this is not an example of me, is Gandalf. I know Gandalf. I've watched Lord of the Rings. Early prequel. That's why I figured. But focusing back in on the topic of dealing with anxiety. Okay, so okay, got it. Oh, Lauren, thank you for liking the stream. I appreciate that. And let me take a stop here for those who are watching now presently. Today I'm realizing I'm just kind of like flying around because it's hard for me to focus on building and talking. So please enjoy this beautiful environment as I fly around. Anyways, I'm talking today about anxiety. I've spent some time talking about the journey that's gotten me to where I'm at here in 2023. I haven't really kind of shared yet all that I've specifically learned over the last year about how to handle anxiety. But I am putting it out there that if you are presently dealing with anxiety about something and you want someone to listen to you, to help you work through it, I want you to know that I am here for you, and I'm here for that. And you don't have to if you don't want to. This is not a you should talk about this. This is if you want to. Because like I want to be there to help, because I know how dumb and frustrating anxiety is. Like, it does not matter how much you know about anxiety. Sometimes it will still find ways to make you anxious. And I hate it so much. But one thing that I know that helps me is being able to talk to someone and get what's making me anxious out of my head and just into the open. And oftentimes that really helps me depower its power over me. So before I go into more of that, I just want to like put that out there for those who are currently watching, wherever you may be. I'm here for you. I love you. I'm listening. But before I get to that part too, with what I was going to talk about, as Zap, you were mentioning that fear of the future is one of the pieces of anxiety that you sometimes struggle with. And that came out of a place of like, really wanting to accomplish something with your life, wanting to go in the direction of, you know, doing stuff with culinary school, becoming a chef and or like a baker, and just that kind of being fought against by your family. So how does that translate into anxiety about the future for you? Like what kind of things about all that you'd mentioned, Zap, specifically is making you anxious when you think about it? Is it like because... Oh, that's a song. I was like, what? I hear a siren. Anyways, is it like a matter of like because your mom kind of fights you on it, that sometimes that you wonder if it's like the right thing to do actually, or that if you're capable of it, or like what about the future does her disagreement with your ideas like cause you to have anxiety? Granite caves. This is kind of cool. I can't see a thing. That is complete darkness. Interesting. I'm surprised how dark that is. It's like no visibility. Something skeletal fell down. Ah, hello. Just thinking of where I am gonna go in life. Am I going to go to university? Am I going to get a different job? Just what am I going to do in the future? So the unknowns of what to do then is like the main thing that you would say is kind of stressing you out right now. Well, so let me think on this. I know what I want to do, but I feel like it might not happen, and I don't really know what I would do otherwise. So, why do you think it's not going to happen? Like, why do you think that you're not going to, I don't know, I guess, be able to go to culinary school, or, trying to think of, how would you word this? Why do you think this, what you just described, is not going to happen? Because maybe if we can look into the why and the more specifics, then it'll be easier to kind of figure out how to address the anxiety about the future. Because I often find that's how I tend to handle it. To kind of like figure out what about this am I particularly fearing. At least that's one way. I thought that was a snail. That is not a snail. That is a sleeping lion. Interesting. Ooh, jungle. Hello, jungle. I really kind of like these savanna edges, though. They're kind of cool. My brother is very gifted with academics, and my dad is a computer engineer. Impressive. With the Navy. Ooh, even more impressive. Wow. So I am almost forced into a situation where I am expected to go to a high-level school and do great. And are you concerned that, like, maybe your parents are looking at your desires and dreams to kind of go into culinary school as, like, not prestigious enough? Like, not, not good enough kind of thing. And I did not know that you had an older brother. Okay. I'm going to, let's see. Wait, oh, I don't even know if your brother is an older brother. You just said your brother. I was gonna say, I was about to assume that you have an older brother, but maybe it's a younger brother. Although I imagine the way you talk about it, it sounds like he's an older brother. Is he an older brother or a younger brother? Would you be the older or the younger child in the family? This is the second time I've been streaming Minecraft that I have been drawn to a savanna biome. What is it about a savanna biome that is so intriguing to me? Huh. Interesting. It was this area specifically that drew my attention. But you got this really nice flat platform, and then you look over the side, and here is this water river. I'm good with words. Water river, as if it could have been any other river right now. What is this? Gross. My older brother is currently in England with a scholarship for football, and my parents have been very supportive with him, but I feel they haven't really been supportive with me. Okay, older brother, got it. Gotcha. So like a shadow of what you've been under kind of thing. I don't think, and I'm saying this not just to say things. I do mean what I'm going to say here. I don't think that culinary school and becoming a chef is any less grand than, you know, what your dad does or how, you know, whatever your older brother is doing or is going to do, honestly. I don't think so. If you think about it, people are always going to need food. I don't think we'll ever get to a place where food is not necessary for survival. And if we do, it'll probably still be like a thing that people will want. But I really don't think so. If it's going to happen, it's going to be like a great distance into the future of unimaginable time. So there is a great need, a consistent need for chefs. And I personally am a frequent restaurant goer. It's not great for my wallet, I'll be honest. But my wallet has definitely opened up and allowed me to go to restaurants more frequently than ever. I was checking my budget. I have like a little budget tracker that I use, and last month, either last month or November, oh boy, it was up there. I was definitely spending. Now, granted, all the inflation going on hasn't helped, so there's that. But, oh boy. But I really value restaurants, and I value those who take the time to make food well, because I don't necessarily wish to spend my time making food, honestly. I'd rather be doing almost anything else. I very consistently make myself the same food for breakfast and lunch and dinner. In fact, actually, because it's so routine, I buy myself microwavable meals just so I can have something different every lunch, and that I don't have to necessarily go out and eat every day, and don't have to make myself food every week or every day. So in order to have a little bit of breakup and not the same thing all the time, I will often find workarounds to how I know my own tendencies. And so consequently, I have my favorites. But I really don't think, that being said, I really don't think that it's a lesser calling dream goal career to go into culinary school, and I mean that legitimately. I have some really good friends that are really good at cooking. I have a cousin that's really good at cooking, and she similarly has had some dissuasions from going towards culinary school. But I have discovered and learned over the past couple of years that there really isn't a substitute for what you're passionate about. And that's something that I'm really facing in this current season of my life. Because right now, I'm doing everything that I'm doing with thoughtraid for free. I'm helping out, I'm supplying whatever I've learned, I'm making time for it. Like last year, I've worked often 35, 40 hours a week, and then on top of that, you would see me on and I'd be streaming for another 2 or 3 hours. Just wait till you get a debit card, yeah. And I would stream for another like 2 or 3 hours. And it's a lot. It's a lot to, like, you know, in my job working at New Balance, I have to spend a certain amount of emotional energy to be there for each customer. I don't get to spend, you know, a little bit of time with a lot of people. I spend a lot of time with a little bit of people, but every person, I appreciate that. I really do. But every customer I work with, I'm going to spend roughly anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, helping them find the right pair of shoes, because I'm working in a shoe store again. You know, all that kind of stuff. And then I gotta turn around and I'm gonna come on and I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be talking with you and whomever comes. And sometimes I love it a lot, and sometimes I love it a lot, but I'm discouraged. Because, like, I'm like, man, I feel like I'm not reaching anybody. Like, I feel like, have I really helped anybody? Like, sometimes I really do kind of work through that. But would I trade the struggles that I face building thoughtraid and the dream that I have for it to one day be a place where I can help people and make that my job, where I'm there to, you know, provide community and family for people and to help them through areas that they're stuck? No. There is no replacement for something that you're passionate about that really gets you up in the morning and gives you something to look forward to. And it's not to say that, like, it needs to be the do-all and end-all, too. And I want to put that out there, too, because sometimes I find that on the way to your dreams that you're going to have to build up someone else's dream. Like, I have a dream and a hope that one day this will become, like I said, a valid way of being able to, like, reach people, make much more content in many different ways, eventually be able to make video games through it, be able to write books through it, all that kind of stuff, and to network. I love to do that kind of stuff with this, but on the way to doing that, I think there is something to taking the time to build up other people's dreams as well, which means, like, working other regular jobs. Like, retail is one of my biggest strong suits. I'm very charismatic, so I do a good job helping people, you know, connecting them to product, and I think there's nothing wrong with it. I feel like on the steps to where you want to go with your dreams, whether you hit them exactly or it takes you some time to get there, like, it's okay to, like, build up other people's dreams. But in the process of doing that, in the process of working that part-time job at McDonald's or whatever it may be, at Vitamin Shop or at Sears, whatever different places you may have out there, don't let go of the dream that you have to be a chef, to be an online platform to help people get unstuck from stuff. Because I've witnessed people that have, like, they find success in something else. Like, you may be successful if you, Zap, were decide, you know what? I'm gonna chase what's gonna make me the most money. And do that. And that's fine and well. And you may become very successful. You know, let's say you decided, you know what? I'm never gonna be successful as a chef. Instead, I'm going to put all of my time into becoming a computer programmer, like my dad, for the Navy, or whatever. You may become very successful in that, and actually produce some really good programs, and that's not a bad thing. But no one is going to make your dreams become a reality but yourself. And you have to give yourself time and space to build that up as well, in addition to doing the other things that help you pay the bills until the day comes where that door opens up for you. Because maybe it'll open up a little, maybe it'll open up a lot, maybe it'll be a door that'll be opened up by a family member or someone that was able to watch you build your dreams, and then, you know, it could be a next generational thing. I don't know. Maybe thoughtraid won't become successful until I'm gone from this world. That's a possibility. And maybe I'll have to make many different iterations of thoughtraid, continuing to work and perfect it and finding, you know, ways to get it a little bit further than it was before, and it will never quite get to that place where I want it to be. But at least I have an outlet to be able... Gosh, that made me feel proclaimed. Hello. At least I have an outlet to be able to be there for people in a way that I want to be there for them, and to help them through life so they don't feel alone in their struggles, and they don't feel completely clueless like I have in dealing with their anxieties, angers and frustrations, struggles and addictions. You know, I've been able to have the opportunity to be able to pour into people over the years through this, and that helps. And I don't know, just me talking about this is encouraging me, if not anyone else, it's encouraging me to know that, because sometimes I don't know, you know, how much I'm helping people, but at least in this moment, I don't know, I that helps me to kind of say that, to whatever. So I hope it helps you. And now I'm focusing what you're saying. You said, Brandon, when I started watching this channel, I had absolutely no idea what I wanted to do in life. I hadn't really discovered my passion yet, but watching this helped me ask the right questions. You have helped me and many others, and will help many more. Now give me mod. Wow, that was almost a very touching moment, Zap. No, I know you're kidding. Well, probably even also seriously kidding. Because I'm sure you do really want to be mod in some ways. Oh. But yeah, I guess I say all that to say, like, remembering why I went on that huge talk. There is no substitution for your dreams. You know, you gotta ruin everything sentimental with a joke. That's a beautiful... Hold on. I need to watch this sunset for a second. That's cool. That was beautiful. Anyways, what I was going to say. There is no substitution for your dreams. So, I think part of the way of dealing with the fear of the future is don't let go of the dream of being a chef and going to culinary school or baker, however you want that to look. I believe that your parents greatly care about you, Zap, in their own way. And I believe that they want the best for you, whether they know how to communicate that properly or not. And this is just me going off of what your parents have said and how they've said it and the way that you have relayed it to me. But despite whatever wisdom they may have, and this is just kind of coming from my own experience, they're not probably going to be able to see what drives you and what brings you alive. And it may take time for them to be able to see that. And if you were to give up on your dream completely of being a chef, they may not be able to see that at all. Because I think if your parents operate in any similarity to my own, I think that with time, as you remain consistent to what you're passionate about, I think they will see it and the benefit of it, but it will take time before they would see it. At least that has been the case for me. Like, my parents did not originally see the purpose or benefit of what that I do with thoughtraid or prior to that UGN. And so oftentimes they would challenge that and suggest that I would go instead and do something like in the medical field or even in game designing. Like, they wanted me to go and, go to school for game designing. And yeah, in comparison to like going to the medical school, like, I enjoy the concept of game designing better, and it could make me better money than anything else that I'm doing, I suppose. But I couldn't let go of what I wanted to do with my life, and so I didn't. And over time, as they watched and saw that I was capable of holding down a job while also at the same time building up my dreams and things that I want to do with my life, they slowly came to accept and re-examine the things that I like to do. And now we have a much better communication together, and they understand what I'm doing a lot more. I think that as well, but sometimes I just get discouraged by their actions. This Christmas, my mom said I was gonna make the turkey, and I was going through the recipes and looking for ideas, and when the time came, she just did it herself. Oh, that is a little discouraging. I can understand that. Yeah. It makes me think of my struggles with ADHD. Well, I don't know to what degree I've struggled with ADHD, but I have some overlapping tendencies with a person who has true ADHD, or like more heavily, and I was diagnosed with it when I was a kid. But when I was growing up, I oftentimes felt pressure to get things done within a certain time frame, and I would, if I didn't get done, I would be called lazy, I'd be called procrastinative, or whatever. And the reality was, I just wanted to do things right, and I didn't want to fail, and so I would get really bogged down trying to do a thing because I didn't want to fail. And I still deal with that today. So it would take me forever to do something, and then my parents would just do it for me. And then I just kind of learned to rely on them doing it for me because I didn't have to worry about failing because they would do it for me. And what you just described made me think of that. I just felt like all the excitement was for nothing, and I'm worried that something similar might happen to culinary school. Well, I think that is definitely getting like the cart before the horse kind of thing, which I still do understand greatly. No one can steal your passions from you. Not truly, at least. People might be able to, I don't know, throw you in prison or harm you, whatever. But, like, if you're truly passionate about something, you'll find a way. Like, it would take a lot to be able to prevent someone from being able to do something that they want to do. But that's, like, an extreme situation that not everyone faces. For the average person, no one's going to be able to really take that away from you. And I think that with time, as you learn to assert yourself, to be more confident about the things that you like and stuff like that, I think opportunities can and will open up to you. Like, I want to encourage you that it's not the end. Yes, it would be very deflating, to be wanting to, prove your worth, prove your ability to make something really nice or whatever, and then it got kind of ripped out from underneath you. But there will be another Thanksgiving, and there is still a whole future ahead of you where I think you would be able to accomplish what you're wanting to accomplish. And I am saying that thoughtfully, and I'm not saying that because I'm just trying to be, a go-getter coach, you can do it, whatever. Like, no, I do legitimately believe that, what I'm saying. One of the things that actually makes me think of a good segue here while you're typing, if you're typing. One of the things that I've learned just last month, honestly, maybe not last month, maybe a month and a half ago, and the exact timeline is, I don't remember the exact timeline, but it was very recent. One of the things that I've learned when it comes to fighting anxiety or struggling with anxiety or dealing with it is the importance to fight and not just kind of give up on what anxiety is trying to convince you to give up on. Because that's something that I definitely have failed at last year and had to remember. It's like I knew to fight, but then I forgot to fight. And then I had to relearn to fight. So, and let me explain that and to kind of give some examples so it's not some kind of like, oh yes, let's just fight. Like, what does that mean? In my life, one of my strengths, I believe, one of my strengths is being humble, listening to what other people are saying, and truly considerate. And if I'm wrong, apologizing and changing. I feel like I'm not a very stubborn person. There are things that I am definitely, consistent about and that I will continue to assert, but it's only because I have had a lot of people argue with me about it, listen to their arguments, and still find it to be other ways than what they suggested, and so I'm more solid on that, and I'm not going to just necessarily change immediately unless a better argument is presented that I've not heard before, which I am actively listening for. Especially in areas where, it causes me to lose friends. I'm always, down to, recognize I'm wrong and, repair the relationship if I, am the slightest bit recognizing that I'm stubborn about something that I don't need to be. And so the problem with that, being very intentionally humble, being very open to other people's thoughts and opinions, is that I lack confidence on my own sometimes. And I will take what I believe about something and then just accept that as gospel fact, and then I will slowly stop fighting. And then I will try to cope with the anxiety that I'm feeling rather than fighting against it. And it's not in everything. There's certain things where I kind of get like that. There's other things where I still fight in. But in terms of fighting anxiety, the feeling of anxiety directly, and not letting it, you know, feel like it's got a chokehold around my neck. Last year, I kind of just got into more of like a coping mode rather than a let's fight this thing, you know, and use the tools and the weapons that I know necessary to fight it. And because last year, there was a series of things that I encountered that I felt like this is just a death sentence for me. Like, not necessarily a literal death sentence, but like the situation that I'm about to face feels like there is absolutely no escape about it, and I just need to work on becoming comfortable with it so that way I can get to the acceptance phase of the grief process faster and not have to feel the anxiety of not knowing what the future may hold. So that's kind of where I was last year. I don't necessarily at this moment want to go into what I was worrying about. Not to say I won't ever, but it might be a little bit later before I kind of go into the details. But I just kind of was accepting this state of being that was kind of... I felt like a slave to anxiety and no hope of getting out of it. I felt like I had no mood control. Like, one moment I was going to be okay, the next moment I was going to be a sobbing mess on the floor. And let me put it out, I'm not afraid to cry as a man. If I need to cry and the cry is coming, I'm not going to try to hold that back and pretend like I'm much more manlier and I don't need to cry. No, that is not who I am. I know the power of crying. And I do not use crying as a weapon to get my way. Anyways, this is another beautiful place. But one of the things I learned in that process at the end of last year was that I have the ability to and the need to fight fear and not just let it control me and feel like I just have to learn how to cope with fear. And I don't have to feel hopeless about situations that I feel hopeless about. I actually can do something about it. Because I feel like one of the tricky things, at least for me, that anxiety and fear tries to do is it tries to, at least for me, make me feel like it's never going to happen. Just give up. It's time to accept the facts that whatever it is that I was hoping for is done for, and that I just need to lay down whatever weapons I have to fight this fear and just get to this place of acceptance and or also numbness, so I don't have to feel this aggressive anxiety anymore. Because honestly and truly, anxiety, for me at least, is like a very aggressive, like, what is that sound? Is that a snail? That is a snail. Anyways, like a very aggressive monster that is actively chasing after me, trying to end my life. And like, I should just give up and not even deal with the monster, because that way I can, by giving up, maybe the monster will leave me alone. Like, it hits me so hard, and it acts like if I don't give in to what it demands, that I'm going to be in worse pain, and it will never stop. But that's not the truth. Fear does give up after a while. It just takes work and effort. And I feel like an important method is to not give up your spark, your fight against it. I think it's powerful to fight for your dreams, to research deeper into why what you want to do is valid. Research deeper into what it is you want to do with your life, and really look into that and fight for it. Because no one really else, except for the Lord, I believe, is going to really fight for you. Like, sometimes you might have people that will come alongside you, but like, you can't always trust some people to be able to fight for you and for your dreams. but you can. And anxiety wants you to believe, at least it does for me, that I can't. I was doing some homework right now, so I won't be able to be chatting as much, just so you know I'm still listening. Okay. Like, I find that anxiety makes at least me want to believe that I am not capable of fighting and that I just need to give in to this fear and believe the worst. And believe that my dreams are invalid, believe that I'm never going to succeed. And then what ends up happening is that I don't try because I'm discouraged. And then the problem with that is when I'm not trying, nothing is happening. And so it kind of turns into a self-fulfilling prophecy of like, oh, well, I'm never going to be able to be a successful live streamer that's able to help a lot of people around the world, so I don't want to stream at all. And then when I don't stream at all, then of course no one's going to watch because there's nothing to watch. And then nothing is happening before you know it. And then I'm like, see, now I'm never going to be a good live streamer because I never actually continue to push through it and to fight for my dreams. And so I think in the same way, like, you know, with what you're facing and everything, like, it is tempting. It might be tempting. I don't know what it is for you as it is for me, but I would imagine that it'd be tempting to kind of feel like, you know, my parents know much more than I do. Maybe this is not a valid dream. Maybe I should focus on something more realistic and kind of put down, you know, my ideas of culinary school and try something more realistic. But that will only kind of produce the future where you're not doing things in cooking and baking. It's not going to produce for you the future where you're being successful in it. And and to be fair, and to address the anxiety directly, there is no guarantee that the dreams that you have are going to happen. That's a real risk that you're going to have to take. But if you do nothing about it, it's definitely not going to happen. So it's better to try it and to really push at it and to see if you really like it and to know if it's going to work than to never try at all and then you're never going to know, and that's just going to become the reality for your life. And then what you'll have from that point forward is you're going to have regrets. And that's, in some ways, more weightier than the anxiety itself. I've heard others describe anxiety as a monster hunting them down. Yes, that's exactly what it feels like, Richard. Like, it feels like my monster of anxiety feels like this neck-grabbing monster that wants to choke the life out of me and will not let go until I am exhausted on the floor. Like, that's what it feels like to me. And I absolutely hate it because it's such a liar, and it often gets me thinking about things that are not happening right now and worrying about tomorrow, and taking away my energy for today. Like, as a Christian, I know that the Bible says that, you know, don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry for itself. Sufficient for today is its own trouble. And that's a scripture verse that I have read over and 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 over. And still sometimes that stupid fear continues to relentlessly go for my throat. And I'm tired of it, and I don't want other people to have to deal with what I'm dealing with. So that's why I'm here today. So again, if you're just coming on to this stream and you're dealing with anxiety about something, I'm here for you. I know what anxiety is like. I hate it. I hate it for other people even more. And I'm willing to listen. And if I can provide a better way of thinking about a situation, then I'm going to do my best. But at the very least, I'm here for you. And that's what today's stream is about, while I kind of aimlessly fly around Minecraft's this server that I've created. I wanted to build stuff, but I have to resolve to the fact that I'm not that great at multitasking. I am good at walking around and talking, though. I can explore like no tomorrow. What's the subject you're currently working on in your homeworks app, out of curiosity? And what would you say is, oh wait, the irony of me writing how you should put down your technology at least an hour before you go to sleep while watching this at 10:27 is killing me. Hey, at the very least that you can say today that you're spending your time watching something that is here trying to encourage you and edify you and help you through your own struggles. I feel like a lot of people consume YouTube videos, TikTok videos that are more comedy, meme related, or maybe something that invokes jealousy in them, and then they kind of distract themselves from their problems that way. But at least, you know, exactly. Exactly. I am not the man to write about how you should put down technology at least an hour before going to bed. That is not me. Now, for me, at least I have the saving grace that I have the ability that once I'm ready to go to bed, I'm able to put everything down and go to bed and go to sleep within about a couple minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes flat. And I'm asleep. But that's when I'm ready to do so, not beforehand. And beforehand, I will spend a lot of time playing games or, you know, doing something like this. So I'm not the poster child for that conversation. I do get myself 6 to 7.5 hours of sleep a day, or a week each day. But it's random when I go to bed. So don't come to me about that one. I don't have anything to say about that. What's a circadian rhythm? I don't know. I don't know these things. My best circadian rhythm experience was during the pandemic, when I was able to go to bed when I wanted to and wake up when I wanted to, which consistently seemed to be about going to bed at 7 a.m. in the morning and waking up at 2 p.m. in the afternoon. Don't judge me. Get at my level. That was peak Brandon performance back then. And now I work a job that says, nope, you can't have that schedule except when you're off 2 days in a row. And I'm like, okay, fine. So, yeah. But at least I do have more successful stories about dealing with anxiety than I do with going to bed at the right time. So, maybe I can help you in that much. Oh. It was a counselor that helped me come to terms with going to bed as late as I do. Because she was kind of talking about, like, if everyone was a morning person, who would be there to watch over the night kind of thing. And I have definitely helped people late at night, you know, morning people late at night who can't get sleep. I've been there for that. Hello, Bam! I don't care. Gosh. Oh, okay. Hello, Tyler. Also, as a Christian, I've taken a lot of hope in reading that the heroes of the Bible went through a lot of stuff on their way to their dreams. God always provides a way, but it was sometimes a lot longer than expected. I have peace knowing that I'm in good company when my dreams take longer than expected or take different turn. Yeah. I mean, think about, on that note, Tyler, think about, like, King David. Like, frickin', he was anointed as king at a really young age, and he did not see that kingship for, like, at least over a decade, if not more. Like, the present king of Israel at that time chased him around for a long time, and he was constantly, like, flirting with death, essentially, as like he had to go certain places just to survive before he finally actually witnessed being the king of Israel. Or think about the prophets who were constantly saying, wake up, because the doom of Israel is coming, wake up. And they were like talking about that like centuries before it happened, looking like absolute idiots. And then it happened. Things like that happened. So, like, that's on a little bit more of a negative note, granted, but still, it's a thing that happened, even though it felt like it was never gonna happen. When you lay your head on your pillow, ask yourself if you spent a day in a way that pleases the Lord, whether the answer is yes or no. The fact that you can answer it will help you keep the anxiety at bay. Interesting. Honestly, to that point, Richard, I will say one method of me that's helped me kind of deal with some of my anxiety is to talk to God about, am I doing enough in my life right now? Because I have found, personally, that God's expectation on my life is a lot less intense than my expectation on my life. By a long shot. Like, when I started thoughtraid, God was like, I want you to broadcast 3 times a week. And that was all he told me to do. And he was like, he gave me the idea to like help people through whatever they were facing and kind of process through it. That was it. And that is really, to this day, has been his only real big expectation of what he wants to see happen with thoughtraid. And he hasn't really told, like, just recently, he kind of gave me the idea that now it's time for me to kind of go back to college, which I'm planning on doing. I want to go to school again for business, because I really love community development, and I feel like there's more that I can learn from a business degree, ironically related to that. I feel like there's overlap between building a business and building a community. So I kind of want to do that and focus on entrepreneurship. But really, from like 2020 to 2022, there wasn't really any other major expectations that he put on me about what to do with my life. And yes, there was plenty of things here and there that he also was like, okay, you need to correct yourself here, you need to correct yourself there. But generally speaking, there wasn't really any kind of heavy expectations, which made it a lot easier for me to be myself, and know that I was doing enough, in advancing God's kingdom in his love, and peace, and, I guess being myself, and, building up a life that I want for myself. And Zap, you're saying, I feel like the odd one out with all this Christian wisdom around me, and there's just me making jokes. No! You're good. This is not like a Christian-only stream. Only Christians are allowed to be in thoughtraid. To be in the chat talking with us. That is not at all the culture of thoughtraid. It never has been, it never will be. And honestly, there are some things we do in thoughtraid that a lot of Christians may disagree with me about. Number one, chief of them being playing video games. There's still a decent amount of Christians that, kind of feel like they have to give up video games to be a good Christian, which is not the case. I disagree with that 1,000%. Although I do believe that there is like a pit where like you can go overboard and you're replacing things you need that are in life that are healthy with video games. That's a problem. But to serve God, it does not mean you need to not play video games anymore. So take that and do with that what you will. There is no scripture verse in the Bible that says thou shalt not play video games, or watch or do anything entertainment related. That is not in there. What is that? What is this? Mangrove propagule? I've never seen it before. What? I don't know if that's the only one, but yeah, that's one. We put, yes. Yes, I agree with that, Richard. I agree with that 100%. I am the poster child of putting too much pressure on himself for things that God is not putting pressure on me, and I've gotten better with it over the years, but I'm still growing in that area. It's basically a mangroves. Oh, I see. I've never really encountered that until just now. By the way, I want to put this plug out there. We have a Discord, and soon we are going to have a Minecraft server, and I would really like to invite you to be a part of our Discord server, at the very least, because I would love to have more chat like this happening on the server, the Discord server, and to be able to have more of a group of people together that if we wanted to play games together, there's enough people that are like, hey, I'm available at this time to play this game, or I'm available at this time to play this game. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, no, I'm so sorry, Zap. Maybe we should do that at some point. If we get to the place, we might have a raised fund for Zap to have like a gaming PC fund. That'd be fun. That way you can join us on modded Minecraft. But even though this is not Bedrock Minecraft, we do have a Discord server that I would like to continue to invite people into so that we can have regular games going on, people to join and be a part of. I really want to get to that. I had that going with my previous server, UGN, but that hasn't been going on anymore in that server. So I want that to happen really in thoughtraid again. Well, thoughtraid period. So if you're on Discord and you're a gamer, this is your formal invitation to our Discord server, and the link to that is in the description below, wherever you may be. You are welcome here. You could donate to charity to help starving children, or I could play Minecraft with Brandon. Think about it. No, we definitely like to do. We would want to do both. I will say, for those who are interested in donating to thoughtraid, we are heavy believers in tithing, and we do like to give 10% of what we make back out to people as part of that tithe. We have been able to support, or not support, that's too big of a word, but we've been able to donate to new families, people who are developing games, people traveling as a missionary. We have supported churches. We have supported Habitat for Humanity now, thanks to you, Zap. And we will continue to donate 10% of whatever we make in donations back out to our community and to other people, as also a gratitude for the support that we do get. And then the rest of the money that comes into thoughtraid is used for upgrades, and moving us ever closer to the day where we would be able to have an official studio to make regular content that's not just a live stream. Because it does take work to do what we're doing here. When I was making TikTok videos for thoughtraid, a TikTok video is no more usually than a minute, and it took me 2 to 3 hours to make a 1-minute video, because you can make a 1-minute video like that, sure, but if you want to make a good 1-minute video with editing, cool sound in the background, a thoughtful topic that's clear and concise, that takes time, and that takes like 50 different cuts just to make that one thing. So we would love to get back to that again, and I would love to be able to bring on a full-time video editor to really bring nice quality skits, videos, live events, all that kind of stuff for thoughtraid. But that's what we're kind of striving towards. But even in all that, again, 10% of those proceedings goes back into other people and helping other people out. I'm just imagining a room like a green screen room, but it's just every single one of Brandon's thumbnail faces. I mean, in all technicality, that is my folder that I have on my computer. Like, I have a file of just a bunch of different faces of me for the thumbnails, and also a file with all the thumbnails. So I could literally make an archive of my thumbnails over the years. But yeah, can I have it? It's for a school project. Oh, really? What school project requires all of these thumbnails out of curiosity? I need it for science. But yeah, while you're responding to that, one last time I want to put it out there. I'm going to end here soon. At Reddit 10, I'm planning on ending. If anyone's watching right now and you've got something that you are anxiously going through and you want someone to be there for you to listen, to kind of help provide any kind of help that they can, I'm here for you. I'm listening, and I love to help. Even if it's just to have someone to say, yeah, I've been there, I understand what you're talking about, I'm here for that. So I will put that out there. Up to you guys. 40 pages. You need some pictures. Any other questions? What is the topic that you would and class that you would need all these pictures of my thumbnail highlights or whatever? Like, I cannot fathom this. Half of me wonders if you're just joking with me. Like, I cannot tell if you're even serious about this. I mean, if you are serious, then I can get that to you. 40-page essay on my face. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. That's, no, I don't. Why would someone need to do a 40-page essay on my face? You know, I don't know, Zap. I feel like it's completely possible that you would do so for a joke. If you could make me believe something that's not actually happening to make you have a good laugh, I could believe it possible. I don't know. It's not that far stretch of a thought, I'd say. I'm also trying to think, though, back on the topic, though, about anything else that I've kind of learned in the process. This last year, I learned that I need to fight again. Because anxiety is a liar, and it makes you believe that you cannot fight it, but you can. And that you have to give up on things you're hoping for, but you don't have to. I think the main thing, and this is not something I learned last year, like it's something I've learned before, but relearned it last year. One of the things that I've learned as like a parting thought while I'm waiting to see if anyone says anything, is that, it's not good to worry about tomorrow. And it's a frustrating thing to say, honestly, because I know that, and I know that makes sense, but it's so hard to do, but it's still true, even though it's hard to do. Like, I definitely have a tendency to worry about tomorrow, however that may look. Like, you know, like, for me, like, I am in my 30s. My parents are in their 60s. And they're getting older, and that's just a part of the natural aging process. That's hard for me, because I love my parents, and my parents have been very good to me. And they have raised me well, and I know that they care, and they would do anything in their power to take care of me if I needed their help. But knowing that, you know, unless the Lord returns, their life is going to be finite, you know, and they may not be with me at some point in the future, it's really hard for me not to live in that future. Like, even though they're fine and they're in good health, I'm still sometimes having to hold back that worry, even though, like, it's not here. But that hasn't changed the fact, and I have to remind myself that I cannot exist in that future because it's not here. And right now, and the reason why, is because if I continue to dwell on the end of their life, then I will miss out on moments in the middle of their life right now, you know, late part of their life. Like, they're alive and healthy today. And I recognize that whenever I'm afraid of them getting older, I avoid spending time with them because I'm concerned that by seeing them getting older, it will just cause more mental suffering on my part. You know, I will just see them and I will be sad, and the sad will be heavy, and then so I'll instead, you know, not spend time with them because, you know, then I can just keep this false image in my head of what they were, and they were that, but they're not that anymore. And then in order to preserve that image, then I just won't interact with them. But that's not good. You know, that, you know, makes them, they feel that, they know that, and it makes them sad. And that's not helping me and doing me any benefit. And so I've learned, relearned, and I'm still in the process of learning how to do this in a more effective manner. But don't, to the best of your ability, don't dwell on tomorrow. Like, it's okay to plan, and it's okay to want to do certain things, and that's not wrong. And it's okay to prepare for stuff if you know you need to prepare for it. But if you don't need to prepare for it, and you can sit down and logically deduce that you don't need to prepare for it, and you're not there yet, and it's not happening, there is no reason to sit there and to continue to worry about tomorrow. So to the best of your ability, I like to encourage you, as I'm encouraging myself right now, it's okay to not have it all figured out. Worry is not going to make you figure it out faster. It is only going to take away your peace when you could spend that time thinking about it peaceably and the right time. Don't take away today's strength for tomorrow's problems, because tomorrow's problems will take care of itself when the time comes. Like, and not to say that, like, you won't have responsibilities, but what I do mean is that you will find the strength in the time if you don't take it from today. Don't worry about tomorrow. Worry about me being in your walls. No, I am not going to worry about you being in my walls, Zap. No, thank you. I'm not doing that. It's always good to talk to someone when you're going through stuff. It's not good to try and endure it on your own when you can have victory with help. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, in as much as you are able to have someone there helping you through it, good. That's what thoughtraid is for. That's what I want it to be for other people, is a consistent, reliable way people can come and know that I'm here to be there for you, and I am working on building a team of people with me that can also be there for you when I'm unable to be there for you. Like, that's a dream that I have for thoughtraid. But it also exists outside of thoughtraid, and because it exists outside of thoughtraid, that's how I got the inspiration in the first place. So I absolutely agree with you there, Richard. Like, don't face it alone. Like, you don't have to face monsters alone. But to that point, though, something that I have learned this year, last year, actually, last year was the first time I really got what I wanted in terms of support. I had my close friends, and I had a group that I could meet up with regularly on a regular basis, and I was able to pour out my concerns and fears and worries with them and really work through it and not have to be alone. But what I learned is that there is another ditch to be careful of too. And that is to find your security in people. And that one I'm still navigating, and I don't fully know what that looks like yet, but I know it's a thing. To not find security in people, because sometimes people can't be there for you. Even though they would want to be there for you, even though they love you dearly, they can't. And that's okay. And that's especially okay if you don't find your security in people. And as I figure out what that means, I will talk about that more in Thought Raid. But at the least, what I understand that to mean is God is there for you, and he will never leave you nor forsake you. And so you always have him there to help you through stuff when other people can't be there for you. For whatever reason, they can't be there. And that's, I think, also very applicable in marriage, too, for what I understand. Because a wife or a husband or a spouse, they're able to be there for you more than the average person is, hopefully. But sometimes they just can't, because something is going on that's preventing them to be there for you. And it's not that they become toxic or they're not good for you, but it becomes more of an issue that they're going through a rough time. But God can be there for you in ways that others cannot. And that's what I'm learning. That's something I've really had to learn, especially being single for 30 years. Gonna be 31 years this year. Woo! I've never really had a spouse to be there for me. But God has always been there for me. And so that's something I've been kind of like learning this year, is that he's never left me. And he's always there. If I sit there and listen and I pray, eventually he does help me see things from his perspective, which is usually higher than my own. Well, not usually. It's always higher than my own. My parents passed away suddenly. Enjoy your time with them. Take every moment you can. Yes, I'm doing so. Oh yeah, my D&D campaign is in full swing now, and the first big encounter, a singular wolf rolled 3 nat 20s and almost TK'd the entire party. That is beautiful. And wow. That sounds like my first experience, or that sounds like the first campaign experience I had in my secondary D&D campaign that I'm a part of with Noah. Him and I are in a campaign, and like on the first day, we pretty much almost experienced that at the hand of goblins. So that was fun. Man. We're taking a short hiatus from that until he ends up getting married in April. So I won't be able to see that group. Well, I can see them, but I won't be able to do D&D with them until a little bit later. But anyways, that was a fun experience. I can relate to that. Gosh, I love the sunsets with this shader pack. Like such look at this majestic view right here. This is a video game. Look at this beautiful view of the sun setting beneath the clouds and the horizon, and the grass and everything just looks so peaceful and nice. This, maybe not this texture pack, but this is the shaders. This is what you have to look forward to when we have the Minecraft server up and running on our Discord. Well, not on Discord, but in our group. Chris Summer, thank you for liking the stream. I appreciate it. Thank you. And unfortunately, welcome to the end of the stream as the sun is setting, because I'm ending in the next 4 minutes here. But I'm glad to have you part of it. Hopefully you've been watching this whole time and you got some stuff out of it. But I'm very glad that you came to join us tonight. Goblins are absolutely wrecked, but this one wolf tank hits. The rolled max damage and drowned 3 party members, only to be barely killed by the warlock who hadn't taken a single hit. There's always that one character in your group that just seemingly never gets hit. Like, I have that. At least I've had that a couple times. People that just, for whatever reason, the dice is always in their favor. Like Tim, who you've seen a couple times in my previous, he's in another D&D group that I'm a part of, and for the first time ever in our previous session that happened yesterday, he actually got hit in a serious manner. When normally he's dishing out a butt whooping 24/7 as the gunslinger that he is. the edgelord gunslinger that he is. But my God, most time he never got hit. So it was like we were all like laughing because like Tim was kind of getting bummed out. It was like, oh, maybe I should quit or whatever, or not in a serious way. He wasn't seriously thinking about it at all. But it was kind of like him and his character were kind of like, what do I do now? And it was just like we're all laughing because like, haha, you actually got hurt like the rest of us. It was great. And he was a good sport about it in the end, but in the moment it was just like, what am I gonna do that's gonna make a difference? I'm like, well, sorry. Guess you can't be a god this round. God, just you saying gunslinger, I'm imagining how awesome it would be to make a campaign based on the Wild West. Yes, I would love to see something like maybe like a steampunk Wild West gunslinger. That'd be like campaign around the Wild West. That would be a lot of fun. I might have to make. I've heard some like brief like D&D story descriptions of a Wild West experience, and it sounded like a lot of fun. Hello, lightning bug. Last question for you, Zap. Are there lightning bugs in where you're at in Canada? And if so, are they even referred to as lightning bugs? Are they called fireflies? Are they called something else entirely? They're roughly like this bug, but obviously less square. As I'm very curious how far these things spread, because they're all over the place where I'm at during the summertime and everything. Never seen them. They're called fireflies. Okay. Yeah, they are all over the place where I'm from. Especially, like I said, during like the summertime, there's like a whole bunch of them, and they're beautiful. It's like the stars are in the trees. So anyways, I just want to know about that, because it was like, ooh, firefly. We get annoying amount of bees and wasps in the summer. I'm sorry. Bees are okay, but wasp, though. My apologies, poor Canadian man, you. Well, anyways, I want to thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this stream, I want to invite you to my Discord group. This time, forget liking the stream. If you want to like the stream, great. I want to invite you to my Discord group, because with thoughtraid, I really want to continue to build our Discord group and having more and more people able to play games together, to chat, to have fun. So if you like this, I would like to formally invite you to our Discord group, and the link to that is in the description below. We like to post memes, we like to play games. Sometimes we'll host an event or two when we're able to do so, and we are trying to work on having more like public events for everyone to be a part of. One of which is the AI battle, which we usually broadcast, but that is a full community event that anyone can participate in. If you've got a name of a character that you just desperately want to see go up against another character and have an AI determine the fate, and a chance also at winning a gift card, or the ability for us to donate to another, like choosing where we donate our next like bit of money to, that's a fun way, that's a fun thing that you can be a part of. And the way to know about all that stuff is on our Discord group. So if you are not a part of it, this is your invitation. If you're a gamer, this is your invitation. Come join us. We'd love to have you be a part of our Discord group. So you shall demolish the competition once again. Yes, we'll see about that. You've won twice in a row, Zap, and I don't know how, but you can't win always. The AI will have the reckoning at some point for you. So, you've been invited. The link is in the description below, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. If you're on Discord or Twitch, it's in the panels below. So, you've been invited. But with that said, we broadcast every week on Monday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll be live again this Friday with some more gaming. You better believe it's going to be a lot of fun. We'll see you again soon. I can see far away from where I've been. He says I
a potential. I see a potential in my eyes. I see a potential. I never lost sight of the reason why. You're alive. You're alive. You're alive. We sing Jesus, you're